them all what I'm made up. Strut down the hall, won't stop till I get enough.
We're all looking for ways to, get smart fast, right? To cut through the noise and understand what really matters.
Absolutely. That's kind of the goal here.
And today, well, what's definitely caught a lot of people's attention is the news about Billy Joel.
Yeah, canceling all his upcoming concerts, that's pretty major.
It really is. When an artist like him, with such a, legendary career, makes a call like that, you want to understand why.
Exactly. So today we're focusing on this rare brain disorder, normal pressure hydrocephalus NPH, which is behind it all.
And we're using a report from The Independent to help us unpack it.
That's the plan. Understand NPH, why it's affecting him now, and what it means.
Okay, so the headline is, all concerts canceled. That sounds final.
Pretty definitive, yeah. The Independent article mentions a statement from his Instagram.
Right. And that statement directly names the diagnosis, normal pressure hydrocephalus, NPH.
Yes. Explicitly linked as the cause for canceling the whole schedule.
Wow. And that includes dates in the U.S., obviously, but also the UK ones.
Those shows in Edinburgh and Liverpool that were planned for June.
That's a real shame for fans there.
A huge disappointment, I imagine.
Yeah.
The article does say automatic refunds are happening, though.
Which is good, standard practice, but still not the same as seeing the show.
Not at all. So let's dig into this NPH thing. What actually is it?
Okay. Normal pressure hydrocephalus.
Right. It's basically when you get too much cerebrospinal fluid building up inside the brain in these spaces called ventricles.
Ventricles, okay. Like natural cavities in the brain.
Exactly. And when they fill up with too much fluid, well, that causes problems.
So more fluid means more pressure inside your head.
Precisely. Even though it's called normal pressure hydrocephalus, which is a bit confusing.
Yeah, that sounds contradictory.
It is slightly. The pressure can fluctuate, and it can still be high enough to compress the brain tissue around those ventricles.
And that compression leads to the symptoms.
Yes. The Independent report mentions the neurological symptoms that result from this pressure.
And for Billy Joel, the article mentions specific issues.
Yeah, it said he's been having problems with his hearing, his vision, and also his balance.
Okay. Hearing, vision, balance, those sound like they could really impact performing.
Absolutely. And these are pretty typical indicators for NPH, as that pressure affects different brain areas.
What struck me was that the NHS, quoted in the piece, calls NPH uncommon and, maybe surprisingly, not fully understood.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It typically affects people over 60, which fits.
Right. But why is it poorly understood?
Well, part of the difficulty is that its symptoms, besides the hearing, vision, balance stuff the article mentions for him, it can also cause problems with walking, memory issues, things like that.
Okay.
Those symptoms can look a lot like other conditions common in older adults, like Alzheimer's or Parkinson's.
So it gets misdiagnosed.
It can be, yeah. Or diagnosis gets delayed. Plus, researchers are still figuring out exactly why the fluid builds up in the first place in some people.
And the article mentioned that his recent shows actually made the condition worse.
Apparently so, yes. It exacerbated the condition.
That makes sense, I suppose. Performing live must be incredibly demanding physically.
Totally. The exertion, the travel, maybe even just the sound levels at a concert, all that could put extra strain on his system and worsen the NPH symptoms.
Now, this isn't the first hint of health issues recently, is it? I seem to remember something earlier this year.
You're right. The Independent piece reminds us he postponed about 4 months of dates earlier in the year.
Right, for an unspecified medical condition that needed surgery.
Correct. So this NPH diagnosis kind of fills in the blanks, giving a clearer picture of what he's been dealing with.
And it really puts his recent activity into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, think about that Madison Square Garden residency. 10 years.
Unbelievable. It only just finished last July. What incredible stamina.
Truly. A testament to his connection with the audience, too.
And even with that going on, he put out new music.
Yeah, Turn the Lights Back On, back in February. His first original song in ages.
The article mentions Freddie Wexler produced and co-wrote it. It just shows his passion still there.
No doubt. And speaking of performing, The Independent had that nice little story from last year.
Oh, yeah?
His only European show was in Cardiff, in Wales, last August.
Okay.
And apparently he just took the train to the gig.
No way. Billy Joel on a train.
Yeah, and chatted with the ticket inspector. It's kind of charmingly normal, isn't it?
That's brilliant. Imagine being that ticket inspector. Piano man, show me your ticket.
Huh, yeah. Great Western Railway even tweeted about it, referencing Uptown Girl and Piano Man.
That's great. A nice bit of lightheartedness connected to what's now obviously a more serious health situation.
It really shows that relatable side. But bringing it back to the current situation, the article does give some sense of what's next.
Okay. It mentions he's doing specific physical therapy.
Yes, actively working on managing the NPH. That sounds positive.
Definitely.
And the statement really stressed that he's prioritizing his health right now.
Which is absolutely the right thing to do.
Of course. But it also mentioned his hope, his sincere hope, to get back on stage eventually.
Yeah, there was that direct quote, wasn't there? Something like, "I'm sincerely sorry to disappoint our audience."
And thank you for understanding. You really feel the apology and the gratitude there.
You do. He clearly doesn't take his audience for granted.
Not at all. And as the article's subheading noted, there's been a huge wave of support for him since the news broke.
That doesn't surprise me. He has such a dedicated fan base. Their understanding must mean a lot.
Absolutely. So just to sort of pull it all together,
Okay, let's recap.
Billy Joel cancels all concerts because of this NPH diagnosis, normal pressure hydrocephalus.
Right, the fluid buildup thing causing pressure in the brain.
Which has been affecting his hearing, vision, and balance, and performing seems to have made it worse recently.
So now he's focusing on physical therapy, putting his health first, but hopes to return.
That's the gist of it, and it really highlights how even these massive stars deal with serious, real-world health problems.
Yeah. Understanding something like NPH, even just because of this news, it kind of gives you perspective on these complex conditions.
It does. It shows the impact they can have on someone's life, their work, everything.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? You see the dedication of artists like Billy Joel pushing through for so long.
Yeah, even when facing challenges.
How does that intense passion shape their legacy and that connection they build with us, the audience?
It's a fascinating question, that balance between the drive to create and perform and just taking care of yourself.
Exactly, the commitment versus well-being. Definitely something to ponder and maybe appreciate even more the artists who share their work with us.
Sound the alarm. I'm coming up. We'll have a ball. I'm sweet like a buttercup. You're a Barbie doll. Show them all what I'm made of. Strut down the hall. Won't stop till I get enough.